Hello again everyone, Dave here on NZBlokes.co.nz and it's Game of the Week time. So, just before we get stuck into the major summer releases of 2015, I thought I'd take a minute to revisit one of the games that we highlighted back at the end of 2014. Yep, this week is all about BioWare's Dragon Age Inquisition. Players get to pick between 4 races for the first time in the series, the powerful Qunari making their debut here. And then the decisions begin. You start with the option to import a world state. You can head on over to BioWare's website and sign in to craft the exact world settings you would like from the first 2 games, or just go with the defaults for this adventure. Once you've spent the first hour deciding just how your character should look, losing your shit, and just picking a default, it can't just be me that does that, is it? Oh. You can get stuck into the campaign proper in this game, and more on that in a moment. I'm just going to mention the graphics and sound on this game first of all. I reviewed this on the PC at 1080p and ultra settings. BioWare have crafted an outstandingly beautiful environment. Maybe beautiful isn't quite the right word. At points the scenery is outright breathtaking, and the sounds and background music in the world do a superb job of enhancing the mood and drawing you into this deeply crafted world. So, the campaign. It's big. Like really massively big. Loads to see and do. Heck, I've been putting most of my free hours into this and I feel that I've barely scratched the surface in some ways. If you're a bit of a completionist, you will have a blast doing all the little side quests, and being a BioWare game, there's an awful lot of story to eat your way through. All of it well thought out, beautifully presented, and you just keep going back for more once you've had a bite. Of course, you're here for the fights, then that's well catered for as well. You've got 2 main modes of fighting. The third-person real-time setting, or the more traditional pause and prep method that has been in the long list of BioWare RPGs. Being a fan of the third-person action RPG style, I found that the pause feature was a welcome option when there was a lot going on around the main character. I've used it on countless times to pull the character back from the edge of a pummeling, and I think that my only criticism is that sometimes there's just so much going on that I cock up the camera angles and end up losing my party before I can remember to hit that active pause. Now, along with the epic single-player game, BioWare have also included a multiplayer game, which is great fun in its own right. You get a 4-player co-op combat scenario, with a bespoke skill set for each of the unlockable characters, which means that you could spend a lot of time here without ever touching the single player, if you so decide. You are limited to only 3 maps at the present release, and the commentary between characters gets a little worn out after the first couple of rounds. But apart from that, it's well worth a look in by itself. All in, this game offers a great deal for the money that you'll pay for it. A rich single player, combined with a fun, more action-oriented multiplayer offering, come together to form an outstanding game from BioWare. Now, it's not perfect, but I really do believe that this falls under the category of masterpiece. And with that in mind, I am happy to give this game a 9 out of 10. Thanks for listening, blokes. This has been Dave.